Ahead and get started. I'll rely on my moderator to let me know if any questions come in. On January 1st of 2021, I weighed over 250 pounds. I got short of breath just tying my shoes. My cholesterol was over 240. My blood pressure was 130. Systolic, my resting heart rate was up in the 90s. I was snoring a lot, couldn't sleep through the night, had reflux. I was taking medication for it. And I started the Get Fit and Be Lean program, which I devised with a couple of specific parameters in mind. One thing, I chose calisthenics. I chose calisthenics because they're free, because you can do them anywhere, because they can be adjusted to the individual's abilities. When I started, I could only do about 5 push-ups, maybe 10 sit-ups, and a handful of jumping jacks. And that's what I started with every other day. And I increased this from 3 to 4 days a week to 5 or 6. And then I started adding additional exercises. I added them to make sure that I was trying to, as best I could with the limitations of calisthenics, work every major muscle group in the body. I combine these calisthenics with a program focused on fresh vegetables, leafy green vegetables that grow above the ground. When I ask my patient what's a vegetable, typically they'll say lettuce, which is correct. Leafy green grows above the ground, but most commonly they'll then say tomatoes. Tomatoes are a berry. They're a storage organ for reproduction of the plant, not the energy powerhouse of leafy greens. And then they'll say carrots. Carrots, again, are a tuber. They grow underground. They're a storage organ. So leafy green vegetables that grow above the ground, 2 servings at lunch and 2 servings at dinner. What am I talking about? I'm talking about spinach, kale, arugula, asparagus, cauliflower, broccoli. There's a whole variety of different greens that you can use, and a whole world of ways that you can prepare them. And I combine this with fresh foods. I really eat a broad and varied diet. I didn't eliminate any foods. I don't believe in fasting or starvation or some drastic calorie reduction. But I combined the calisthenics with the meal plan approach that you can see on my profile. And I lost over 50 pounds in 2021. I dropped my waist by more than 5 inches. I dropped my cholesterol by more than 20 points. I lowered my blood pressure by more than 20 millimeters of mercury. I lowered my resting heart rate by probably 30 beats a minute. I stopped snoring, started sleeping better through the night. I got off my reflux heartburn medication, and I did this all with no medication, no surgeries, with its risk of complications. I used no supplements, no kind of cleansing teas or fasts or, elimination of any major food groups. And because of that, I really consider this a sustainable program, something that I can continue, and I'm going to continue into the new year. And that's why I kind of titled this live. This is my first scheduled live, and it's a new you for 2022. So if you want to join me, you can stitch or duet your workout with one of mine. You can go back to January 1st and see that first workout that I did. You can see how I was struggling to do, 5 or 6 sit-ups, doing 5, 10 push-ups. But slowly, I gained in stamina, I gained in strength and endurance, and I was able to add a brisk walk onto my calisthenic exercises. And when, surprise, surprise, I hit over 75,000 followers on TikTok, I started doubling up my workout. So I do it from front to back, and then I do a full 2-mile walk. It takes me approximately 40 minutes, and then I do it back to front. Now, that's a long time commitment, but it's not the time commitment that I had when I first started the program. And I have had some people join me. I've had some people stitch or duet their workouts with mine. Very inspiring to see people on TikTok of all different strengths and sizes and weights and ages just pursuing healthy lifestyles. Now, there is a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of people marketing stuff that they think that you need. You don't need it. I did this program with no equipment, no subscriptions, no membership, no enrollment. I haven't sustained any injuries, even though I'm pushing 60. And I haven't had to buy any particular type of meal plans. I just eat regular food. So I hope that you'll go to my Twitter feed and see some of the articles that I post about popular press reviews of different diets. Most frequently, I look at the articles that they're based on, the scientific articles. And if you'll look at my profile up there, you'll see that I have a link to my PubMed bibliography. These are the actual peer-reviewed, published scientific articles that I base this approach on. And you can read those articles for yourself, or you can come to my scheduled lives, which I probably will continue at about this time, depending on my work schedule. And I hope to continue to provide a review of different disease processes that people ask me about, only as this program and fitness and diet apply to them. I'm not an expert in every field. That's why I always try to refer people who ask about particular diseases back to... Okay, so... want to look at some of the questions. I changed my diet pretty drastically, focused on portion control. I really look at single serving portions. I really strive not to eat directly from multi-serving containers while I'm doing something else, like watching television. That tends to be the area where my caloric excess really indulges itself. So, meats, I'm a meat eater. If you look at my meals profile, scroll back through my old videos, you'll see me barbecuing ribs, making pepperoni sausage pizza, making rotisserie chicken. I like food. I like all kinds of food. I like just about every ethnicity of food. I didn't get to be 252 pounds because I hate food. And my belief is I'm not going to maintain this weight that I've lost or lose any more if I do it by hating food. I like food. Okay, if I'm a professional, you could use my help. So at that point, you need your own professional, okay? I am a physician, but I'm not your physician, okay? So you need to get your own doctor. If you don't trust your doctor, get a different doctor. But you don't need to be seeking out medical treatment on the internet. That is not the way to go, okay? Find yourself a physician that you're comfortable with. Schedule a regular appointment with them to address the specific things that you might ask me if I gave you the indication that I was going to answer it, which I'm probably not. All right. So, nothing wrong with fasting. I would disagree because I like food. I like to eat food. I don't want to skip meals. I don't want to have some period of the day that I can't eat food. And there appear to be some other issues related to the longevity of weight loss through the fasting process. So, I would say there are some issues with fasting. So, cookie dough. I prefer mine cooked. Don't like it in ice cream. All right. Welcome, Moonmas. Struggling to go to the gym, get tired quick. When I started this process, it took me longer to do the voiceovers of my early videos than it did to do the exercises, okay? It's not a question of where you're at. It's not a question of how tired you get now. The question is, did you do it today? Are you going to do it tomorrow? And how long are you going to keep that up, okay? In your 20s is the place to start, and it's really funny because TikTok is a very youthful medium, and you might think that I want to target this at Facebook or where there's a lot of older people. It turns out that when it comes to the development of obesity, the highest risk group is 20 to 35-year-olds. That's the age at which people get overweight, and once they get overweight, it is very difficult to get them to where they are back to the size that they were, because of a whole lot of physiologic processes that go on in our body when we gain weight. The changes in the adipocytes, the hormones that they release, the changes in our small bowel and the gut microbiota. And these are all things that I covered in lives, and I will cover again in lives as we go forward. That's what I try to reserve my scheduled lives for. But since this is the first one, I wanted to welcome as many people as I could from TikTok. TikTok's been a great community. I've seen a lot of really great creators on here putting out really great information. Now, it's the internet, and there's some really crazy stuff on here. You know, the guys that say you can't eat kale because when you harvest kale, it produces chemicals that are defensive in nature and cause you problems. Well, I'm being willing to bet none of those carnivores ever tried to kill a boar with a spear, because then you'll see some defensive mechanisms. I like meat. I don't demonize food. I'm not a crusader against processed foods. I like Cheetos and all kinds of stuff. But my problem is not those foods. My problem is my behavior and the amounts that I eat and when I eat mindlessly. That's my problem, and that's what I'm trying to solve, and that's the message that I'm trying to carry. So if you want to go find somebody that tells you not to eat like 18 hours out of the day or some crazy thing like that, go right ahead. But I like breakfast, and I'm not a very pleasant person if I don't get it. And I like coffee. I don't think caffeine is the devil. And, there's just a lot of stuff out there that doesn't take into account the normal human being's daily life. So I don't want people to quit their jobs and come to a commune where they can eat only wheatgrass and tofu. I want you to be able to eat the foods you like, to eat a serving of them as is appropriate for a human individual. And then not obsess about it and not beat yourself up about it and not turn it into some kind of disease process where you're seesawing back and forth from underweight to overweight to morbidly obese and then back down to where you're nutritionally depleted. All right. Anybody else got any questions? This worked much better. I logged on with my monitor. Do I drink wine? I do not drink wine, but I'm not opposed to it. And in fact, there is some research that shows that moderate wine drinking can contribute to your cardiovascular health. Like I said, I'm not into demonizing. And if you want to have a drink, have a drink. If you're drinking a 6-pack or 2 a day, it probably contributes to obesity. Oh man, I'm thinking that's a trap, so I'm not going to answer that one. Life is good, Connor. Thank you for asking. I am not a ninja, as anyone who has ever seen me move in any way could attest. Yes, eating poorly and don't exercise, and that will be a big deal in being overweight. Now, there's a lot of literature coming out now that's looking at the hormonal fluctuations that occur with weight loss and how, basically they're talking about how your hormonal signals are making it impossible for you to lose weight just by eating less and exercising. Well, I would counter that that's really the best way to lose weight. And also, nobody looks at testosterone and says, oh, because you have these hormonal levels, then you should just be forgiven in all of your sexually aggressive behavior because you can't control it. But this is literally the kind of approach that literature in the last 6 months has taken with new research that shows you get hormonal fluctuations related to weight loss and diet and exercise. Well, your hormones are signals. You're not a robot. They're not commands. And so being aware of them and being able to incorporate that awareness into your understanding of why you're hungry at a particular time or how you feel if you're eating a particular food, that's important. But it's not an abdication of your responsibility as an individual to care for your body. You only get one. And it's a fascinating organism of incredibly complex biochemical processes. And the only reason that you're here, the only reason that I'm here is because our ancestors could gain weight and could make it through the times of fasting in the winters. And so to hate that process is to hate your own existence. That doesn't serve any purpose. It doesn't provide a pathway to health and fitness, which is what I'm trying to carry. All right, activity to lose weight quickly. You know, you're in the wrong place. I don't know if you've seen my video on losing 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Do you want to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks? Stop wanting that. That's a dumb thing to want. You shouldn't want it. Don't want it. All right. Kyle from Tenacious D. Oh, Tenacious D, man, that's a pretty good. I like that one. I'm going to have to write that one down. So far, I've had Spielberg, Tom Hanks. I get Tom Hanks a lot. I get, who else did I get? The mouse from The Aristocrats. I'm going to do a whole video on who people think I look like. All right. Thank you, Hugh. I appreciate you coming by. Thank you so much, Mick. Sites to check out. Yes, thank you for asking. I'm on YouTube. My YouTube videos should be visible to the public, although nobody watches them. But they are now primarily these live broadcasts. I download them and put them right on YouTube so people can watch them at any time. I am on Twitter. I do post regularly on Twitter, and I post popular press articles that are a little easier to read than some of the stuff that's cited up in my PubMed bibliography. But I do recommend PubMed for anybody who is serious about physiologic or biochemical research. That's the source you need to be looking at. Good Lord, don't look at the crazy people on TikTok. All right. Yeah, I would never pay you to lose weight, but I am going to just go ahead and block you because of your screen name. All right. You're welcome, Bizzle. I hope you come back, and I hope you'll take a look at my videos. Go back to January 1st, okay? I was really struggling, man. I was really overweight. I couldn't tie my shoelaces without getting short of breath. And went out for a hike. Couldn't do it, you know. Got about a third of the way through. I had to give up and go back. And I've never had that happen before. So it really helped me make this change. And I was lucky that I was in kind of a life situation that wasn't changing drastically over periods of months. And so I was able to kind of devote some time to this. But I wanted to make it a program that people can do without having to disrupt their whole lives, you know. Gyms are, who knows if they're going to be open next week, or, you know, you got to wear a mask. I'm not going to wear a mask when I work out. I like going to the gym. I probably will return to the gym, and that might be the next phase of this process. But I wanted to do calisthenics to reach my goals so that you can see that you can do them anywhere. All right. Darren, welcome. Really good to have everybody here. I hope this was a really good live. This is the first one of 2022. And I'll be doing more of them, and I'll be doing them on particular topics. So hopefully you can check that out. And this one will be posted to YouTube if you didn't get to catch it all. I'm finally getting pretty good at the spiel because I've been saying the same stuff over and over again for a year. It's not exciting. It's not exciting. The results are exciting. But the day-to-day is pretty mundane, kind of trudging through. There were days I didn't want to work out at all, and I talked about that on when I voiced over the video, you know. But what I'm feeling now, how I'm looking now, is a reflection of what I did then. And if you want what I have, you need to do what I'm doing, because there is no magic pill. There are no easy shortcuts. You got to make some changes. You don't have to make drastic changes overnight, but you need to make some changes. You need to start today. Go back to my first workout. Stitch or do out one of your workouts with mine. I really like to see people picking up the calisthenics. And I hope that everybody, Adrian, welcome. Looks like we're not getting any more questions or anything, so I'm going to go ahead and end this. I usually don't run them more than about 20 minutes, but thanks everybody for attending. It's really good to have such a big turnout. It's really exciting for the first one of the year. I'll be doing more lives. You can look at my, I'll be putting the schedule on my videos, and you can look at my profile page, and it'll always have the schedule up there for the next one. And if you have any particular lives you'd like to see me do, a 10 or 20 minute spiel on a particular dietary approach or whatever, I'll be happy to see if I can do that. I'm not an expert on everything, but I am interested in helping, trying to educate folks. So thanks a lot, everybody, for coming by. And